Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're back with FTRL round number 4 at Baku. Now, this is the first run of this. I'm going to take you through this very, very briefly. Well, 4 minutes briefly. But you can see actually the difference in setup between this one and the second run. We had this race originally the week before the Mexico race in FTRL, so it was about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it is. 2 weeks ago. And yeah, let's just say it was fairly eventful. We took about half an hour to get into this thing in the first place. And then I went out on track and noticed that there was something very odd going on. Something just wasn't feeling right. You can see that you can hear it in my shifts that there's something not quite right here. It's not quite going. It took me longer than I care to admit to actually pick up on, but you can see my shifts are nowhere near the actual where the gears are actually shifting. So I felt something was strange, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it at this point. I had a nice touch of the wall there. So I do basically most of the lap. It is worth mentioning that of course, when my that was a strange bit there. Something was very, very strange. And at this point, I wasn't sure what the hell was going on. But
driving assist are on.
At this point, I finally realized that driving assist might be on. Only then. Anyways, I look high braking assist, high full traction, everything on. The weird thing was, like, I was just in a practice session beforehand, and it was all turned off. So I guess the lobby settings forced me into, you know, it must be like TTML or something, or like whatever Sway had his practice lobby on, because he uses as his host. So I must not have properly set it when my game, when I lost everything, like my settings, my camera settings, my helmets, etc. And then flipping, I was an idiot, and then for a few minutes didn't realize, or for a minute or two I didn't realize that I'm in the you can't change it in the assist restrictions. You have to change it in the assists. So yeah, because I was so disorientated and confused, I didn't know what on earth was going on. So it was very, very strange. At some point it eventually clicks. There it is. Well done, you clown, you fucking fool. Anywho, turn all that stuff off, like braking assist. I don't think steering assist is on, traction off, etc. Is the stuff that, you know, generally speaking, you would have set on day one if, you know, your game wasn't reset out of nothing. Anywho, qualifying was an absolute shambles, and I mean an utter shambles. It's about to come across the line here, and the time I'm going to do is, yeah, when I stayed in 17th.
Oh God.
It was, that was rough stuff. So anyways, it is 17th and the last. Now at this point the lobby is broken. So yeah, this is after like flipping half an hour start, basically, before, like, this is like 9:30 at this stage. We haven't even started the race.
We're gonna have to wait. This is gonna be
so we finally have to, so we have to restart, and we finally restart. I don't know how much later this is, but I think it's safe to assume it's past 9:30 at this point, and we've or 8:30, excuse me, not 9:30. Sorry, I'm in the wrong time zone. Yeah, so we sat in the lobby here for longer than we care to admit, but we finally get into it. It took a while. I just debate what I want to do here. You can see the difference between the two races. Load the setup, of course. My thinking was just to put on the hards and just get that out of the way, because if a safety car comes out and you've used, you say, you know, like medium, I was screwed here recently in TTML with starting on mediums and then having to go on the hards with a safety car. So it was pretty shambolic. So I decided, right, let me get the hards out of the way, and then we can pivot to medium, or whatever if needs be. Anywho, here we go then. Finally underway. 5 red lights. And the way we go. Not expecting anything really on these hards. It is just a formality. Oh, I'm not starting last, because the people who weren't able to make it beforehand. We took so long that that the other people who couldn't join beforehand were able to join. That's how late we were. Yeah, that's how things got. Anywho's tiptoeing these hards. I can't say how bad these were. Carnage as usual at Baku. Don't know what happened to Chicken there. And then I broke about 500 meters too early there. Not uncommon, it seemed, for me in traffic. So, yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't even know what to recommend. If you can find a way to get in the top 10, just do that and eliminate any nonsense on the hards or dilemmas, having to start on mediums and if a safety car comes out at the wrong point, you have to put on the hards to the end of the race because you've got to fulfill that tyre criteria. It's a very rough spot to be in here. It really does suck. Anywho, this is lap 7. I am nowhere, of course.
Oh, I'm out.
Yes.
I'm out.
Yeah. Safety car is deployed.
I lost it.
Yarm is out. Sway is out. But thankfully, I can jump off of these tires, where some might have to put on the hard compound tire. So now I'm going to be having a bit of an advantage this time around. So I took the pain early, banked on the safety car coming out at some point, even though it's, since it's Baku, and yeah, that worked out well. Safety car is coming in this lap. This restart. Was it this restart or the second one? It looked like we were going full speed, and then suddenly we weren't. So I don't know what happened, but you saw how much it was back and forth. Like, I don't know, man. That seemed like, I don't know who was at the restart front there, but that seemed pretty dodgy. Cars are flying everywhere. It's a carnage. It's an absolute madness. It is a madness. I'm trying to get through on
yellow flag glitch.
On Wesker, but now we're struck by a yellow flag glitch, and that just adds, insult to injury, really, with how it's gone. So yeah, this race is officially a write-off, but not yet because we're still going. Tom decided to leave it on my outside here, and how I didn't get pinged into a wall
Tom,
there.
What are you doing, man?
I don't know, because if you're the car on the left and the car on the right, once you make contact with someone's rear, they are spearing into the left, into the barrier. I don't know how I weaved there because I wasn't too impressed with what Tom was trying to hang around on the outside there. I'm not sure what he was trying to achieve on the outside. Anywho, this is the point where it was officially called, so I pulled over, and yeah, that was a bit of a shambles. Everyone was pretty frustrated with how that went, and it was put back then to the 21st of December, which, can I just, I've not been in a great mental space of late. The last thing I wanted to do on Tuesday was race, and I know I could have just not raced, but I could have obviously said I didn't want the race, but I decided I would because who knows, maybe something would go well. This is the other setup instead. In qualifying, it was really good. On mediums, it was good, and on hards, it was pretty good. Softs were diabolical in the race. There's a nice fun one. I'm not sure how he's ended up upside down, but that was lots of fun. So my mindset into this one is like, I just can't be arsed. Like, I'm not a fan of having to race on this week so close to the holidays. I wish this could have been put off towards the end of the season, but alas. My PB in this, heading up to this one, was a 20. This is 2 weeks later now, but essentially was a 38.3, and I did a 38.5. So pretty solid pace, very solid pace. A big improvement from the previous week, and we got ourselves a legitimate top 10 position in qualifying. I don't get too many of those. It's not a situation where everyone likes someone on mediums or something, or I genuinely got through on pace, and I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm happy to be locked in on the softs here because I don't have to have this headache at the back where, like, is it mediums or hards, and go through the same stuff I went through the last race essentially. So really happy with that. Retrospectively, what would have cured my rears just died, and it's, I don't know why I changed about the setup differently to fix it, but I'm not particularly, I don't want to race Baku ever again on this game, so Anywho, race start number 2. 5 red lights. Away we go. I've struggled for starts at Baku, and that was not a good one. The problem was I got swallowed immediately by the Alpines on softs, and now I'm at the back on the softs of the soft runners with mediums around me. So it's not good. It's not a good place to be. Lynx is on mediums. I would prefer to be ahead, still heading down towards turn 3, at least on these early parts of these softs. I broke really early again here. I try to lessen it a little bit. And now I try to learn my lesson from when I hit the barrier when I was trying to leave space for Poddy on the inside there, not turn into him. So I try not to hit my wing on that wall this time. Anywho, we'll get through lap 1 fairly free, although there's some shenanigans behind. So we get through that one at least okay. And heading on then to lap number 3, Dan has a has a DRS now, and I can't fight that myself. So you can see I've dropped back from Adam and the such. Just the pace on these softs just died quickly. The switch over was quick. It was, and that was none more prevalent than a stint towards the end of the race. But we'll see. You'll get to that pretty soon. I want to try and stay ahead of Tom here. See if I can get back at Dan. See Lynx and Adam squabbling away there. But we keep that one. I'm going to stay on board for this. Turn 4. Again, he tried to overtake me on the first race on the outside there. Wasn't going to work. So, not close enough to make any doing here. This complex I don't like. And if anything, turn 7 might be I hate more than turn 8. Anyways, tires are sliding. I get on the bump. Tom, I must have cut the corner or something. I don't know. He gets through. I try to brake. There's no time. There's no space. I tried to brake, man. I had no intention of. You clearly see I didn't send on. You don't send on the inside of turn 8, but there's nowhere to go. Like there's absolutely nowhere to go. I can't stop. My tires are already going off. I can't stop any earlier. I can't. There's nowhere to hide there as he sweeps in. Like it's. I don't know. I was really frustrated with how that went down. Really frustrated. And once again, I seem to have, I've seemed to have borne the brunt of it. I think back to Spa last season, where I tried to avoid him and I ended up going to a wall and damaging my wing, and he ends up coming by me. It doesn't look like he got damage from that. Whereas I've got a full front wing to change. Frustrating when he's the car that's overtaking. I know he was more than ahead. I wasn't trying to fight into the corner. There was just nowhere to go. Anywho, safety car was deployed. I didn't pit. I just pit, of course. This restart, I almost hit to the back of Yarham there once or twice. Yeah, restarts here are just so dodgy. Like they really are. This one was fine, but just generally speaking. I don't know who was leading this one. It must have been maybe Fox. I'm not sure. Or I don't know who's in the Mercedes. Must be. I could be Tom. I no. Tom's in the Alpine. I have no idea who the Mercedes is. Maybe Lynx may have stayed out. It must be Lynx. Anyway, Sway hit to the back of Lynx. Speaking of, and took to the escape road to turn 1 there. Lap 10. What am I doing here? There's some shenanigans in front, so I need to try and get past Yarm, who's on hards. Because I do not want to be behind someone on hards. I've already had this song and dance a few times. It's not a nice time, especially around here. There's some sort of contact there, but anyways, Yarm goes round. And we get a place done there. Lap 11 here to lap 12. Wesker decided he wanted to use basically all of his ERS. And there's a certain point where I was like, I'm not using all my ERS to stay in front there. You wouldn't believe the amount of flipping video issues I had with this. That's why you see it jump here and there, because it was just it was a nightmare. It took me ages to fix it. So that was one jump there. But anyways, another safety car is deployed, and this works out just fine because I saved 2 sets of mediums. Of course, I got to start on my quality softs, so I could go then to 2 mediums then. So I could put on a fresh pair. Of course, I didn't use my other set in quality, so I could put on a fresh set of mediums and go comfortably to the end of this race. And so in we come. So look, the idea really is just to survive. That's all this really is about. I do not like this track. I thought my pace at this point was actually pretty good, or solid enough. There was always a limit. There was always a sense of kind of holding back a bit because this track bites with a vengeance. But anywho, restart number 2 on this race ahead of Yarham. I don't know who's in front here, but anyways, we're both warming up our tires, minimal impact, and we both get 5 seconds. So that was jarring, but apparently people who want to come into the pits can just blitz by. Anywho, Fox gets the run. I think he's probably going to use his ERS to go around the outside here. So pretty frustrated that we got 5 seconds of pen for. We're just like none of us hit into each other really. Like it was just we were just warming our tires. We just having to warm into the same point when we were weaving. And yeah, there we go. So, but I'm not planning to do another pit stop because unless a safety car comes out, we'll try and go to the end. It would have meant my hands would have been tied a bit if another safety car had come out. Because obviously, if I want to box or soft, I've got to serve 5 seconds. Whereas if I want this removed, I have to hold it to the end of the race. Anywho, I don't think it gave me wing damage. I'm pretty sure it didn't. What did give me wing damage, though, is I don't know what happened here. I broke early enough. It just didn't stop. Like you can see, if you want to go back and see, I broke well before the brake, the braking indicated. I don't know. I just lost. I mean, I just lost flipping downforce or something behind. But I don't know what it was. I can't really explain as to what happened there. That only adds insult to injury. And you know how? Remember in Baku, I think I had wing damage. It wasn't too bad. I was able to go through the slingshot section there. Okay. Well, that was an example of definitely not being able to go through it. Okay, and you have to come in. So my race is hosed at this point. It wasn't going amazingly well anyway, but. Pretty disappointing how you started 8th. It's descended to shit, and I've got to serve this penalty as well. So, yeah, not great. Just yeah, I've not had a very good run at Baku this game, and I'm happy to see the back of it. It's just again, I used to really enjoy this place, but some of the curb raising that's gone on here in the recent games has I think really detracted from the enjoyment of this place, and the loss of downforce from these cars as well has made that even doubly so in terms of less enjoyment. Anywho, I cut ahead here, but to make a long story short, I was about 5 to 7 seconds ahead of both Dylan and Ox about 3 laps before this point. The tires died. Like I had a fresh set. I went out to a fresh set of softs there on my pit stop. They just died. Like what am I doing? 43s. Honestly, that they were just really bad. So it makes me wonder how much I could have actually done on my soft stint beforehand. My qualifying position was probably for naught. Anywho, we got to the flag. We'll take a P12, 13 out of it, or whatever it is, 14. I don't know. I don't care. Anywho, I don't know what penalty didn't had that made me jump him, but didn't look like there was one there. But anywho, it's a P13 it looks like, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I had an absolute dog shit result here last time we did this in FTRL as well. So anywho, that's going to do that for that race. Thank God that's over, and that's going to finally see my backlog of Mexico, Russia, and Baku finally sorted. So that's going to be it. I'm not back racing until the 4th of January, so thank God for that. I could do with the break. I think everyone could, especially after a dirty race like that. Dirty as in it was disgusting, wasn't it? Like just filth. I hated it. So anywho, yeah, so happy holidays. Enjoy whatever it is you're going to be doing over the holidays. Hope you have some fun, more fun than playing this game at this moment anyways. And yeah, shall see you in the new year. Until next time.